Internally displaced people in South Sudan long to go home, but their return is not simple. Certainly not for the displaced people in the city of Malakal, which has changed hands many times between government and rebel forces. Civil war broke out in South Sudan in December 2013, which forced large numbers of people to seek refuge at UN bases until a peace agreement was signed in August last year. Matthew Chol, who is from Malakal, is the head of the refugees in the UN camp in the city. He says they are distanced from the world beyond.
We are ignorant about what is taking place now. Okay? We are supposed to be orientated, to be orientated of what have taken place and what will take place. And the security arrangement, these things are supposed to be there.
More than 150,000 civilians are in UN bases in different parts of South Sudan. More than 1.5 million others live in remote areas with little access to food and water. Though theoretically peace is in place, sporadic outbreaks of fighting continue in different parts of the country. The battles between various armed groups, some affiliated to the government, others affiliated to rebel groups, means that the time for return is not yet for some. The UN and aid organizations say people cannot be forced to return home.
25,000 IDPs have decided of their own accord to go back home, and that is a very good sign. In Malakal, we are still not there because the situation is still complex, confused. We are working very hard to persuade all sides not to go into violence, and of course the government of South Sudan has its specific role to play.
Security is needed for the IDPs to return, which in many parts of South Sudan is non-existent. Analysts say the lack of security and other factors may result in the camps becoming a permanent part of the landscape in South Sudan.
Those who come from maybe Bentiu, those who come from Greater Upper Nile, and those who come from far, so they don't have where to go actually. And they find out that it's more important for them to stay in the POC actually to be able to stay here because they cannot go back to their homes and it's difficult for them. The third thing could be economic issues. As you see now in Juba, things are not easy in South Sudan. The economic crisis has rampant in and is eating up on the people.
While the government and its partners continue to look for solutions, the lives of the refugees within their own countries continue to be put on hold, and families continue to yearn for the stability of a home. Hiba, Al Jazeera, Juba, South Sudan.